choose a man that chooses you. Okay, ladies, like forget how handsome he is, how tall he is, how much money he makes, how much you like him. The number one thing you should be wondering is he actually choosing you? Because what I've seen is that women usually approach love in 3 different ways. Number one, you lower your boundaries and your standards the moment that you really like someone. Number two, you keep your boundaries and your standards, but you try to mold this man into meeting them. You know, you're trying to change him. And number three is you keep your boundaries and your standards and you wait for a man to rise to meet them. Now, I know that most of you ladies who watch my content, you usually do 1 or 2, right? And you complain about modern dating and what men are doing, but the problem is when you're doing 1 or 2, okay, you're lowering your standards because you like this man or you're trying to change him. What you're doing is reinforcing all of the behaviors that you actually dislike. You need to understand that when you're dealing with a low effort man, when he's being inconsistent, giving you mixed signals, if you keep giving him validation, all you're doing is reinforcing this behavior and he's gonna keep doing it again and again until you get to that 3rd level that I explained, that you keep your boundaries and your standards and you wait for the right man to rise to meet them. My name is Ismael Gomez and I coach women like you to attract authentic love with a man. And if you want to see how I can help you, check the link in the pinned comment. And now let's get this video started. Now, what does it mean to be chosen? Well, in simple terms, is when a man's mind has eliminated all other options. But the issue with all of this is that sometimes you want to be chosen by a man who's not aligned with you. You have all these bubbly feelings, you're really attracted to him, and you haven't even wondered, is this man really good for me? Okay, because again, there's 2 ways that people approach love. So number 1, you're really attracted to them and then you try to find out if they're really good for you. You know, you try to see their qualities, how they align with you, the relationship. And the second one is you see their qualities first. You see if they're going to be a good partner. And then you see if you're attracted to them, or then you see if attraction can grow. Because when you do this approach, okay, when you're led by attraction, you're not going to be able to see most of the red flags. So my approach, what I always suggest women, which by the way, for women, it's even easier because how many times have you met a man that you were not even attracted to at first? And then after a few months of getting to know him, you really liked him. So imagine if you do this approach where you're only analyzing men for who they are first, looking at the qualities, how are they going to be as a partner, and then you work on the attraction part. And the number 1 complaint that I always hear is, Ismael, I don't want to settle, but how do you know that you're settling? And I understand when you're not really attracted to somebody, when they're not completely your type, but if it's even a maybe, you know, why don't you give them a chance? Because imagine that you're in an island, okay, just you and this man. How did you know that you were settling? I mean, if you didn't have anybody else to compare yourself to, your relationship to, how did you know that you were settling? Many of us have been conditioned by movies and music that when we meet the right person, we're gonna fall in love with them on first sight and we're gonna be dancing under the rain and we're gonna have all these butterflies. And I can tell you that the healthy relationships that I know usually never start like that. A healthy connection is not built on adrenaline, okay? It is built on gradually and slowly connecting with each other and creating that depth. The worst relationships that I've had in the past, okay, in my 20s were all those ones built on adrenaline, the butterflies and all these feelings. And it was really anxiety masked as like excitement. Because again, physiologically, anxiety and excitement kind of feel the same way, right? And subconsciously, many times when you feel this with a man, let's say it's because you believe that subconsciously you don't even deserve this man. You believe that he's out of your reach. That's why you start chasing. And once he starts giving you validation and attention, you feel like you earned this thing, right? Like you're worthy now. Okay, so now that you understand these basics, I want to give you a list of 10 limiting beliefs that most of you ladies hold. And pay attention to this list because this is what's holding you back from being chosen. This is what's holding you back from attracting a loyal man. I'm going to give you the list and then I'm also going to give you the 10 empowering beliefs that you should replace these limiting ones with. And now let's go through the list. Okay, so here's the number 1 limiting belief. All the good, loyal men are already taken. And let's replace that with the empowering belief there are emotionally available loyal men out there. I just haven't met mine yet. Number 2, men only care about sex. And let's replace that with many guys would value my mind, heart, and presence, not just my body. And by the way, let me say that this is one of the strongest limiting beliefs that holds back many of you ladies, and maybe because of past experiences, things that you've dealt with. But let me ask you a question. Think about this deeply, okay? If a man is attracted to you, do you think he wants to sleep with you? Of course he does, right? He wants physical intimacy. The main issue is when you put up a boundary and you say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with that. Hey, I want to go slower. I want to go at this pace. Does he respect it, or does he keep testing it every single day? Okay, so let's get back to limiting belief number 3. If I speak up about my needs, I'll scare him away. And let's replace that with the right man will appreciate honesty and emotional maturity. Now, number 4. I have to look perfect to be loved. And let's replace that with true connection is built on authenticity, not perfection. All those tiny things that you see as imperfections or flaws and things that you don't like about yourself, I promise you that the right person sees those as something that really makes you who you are, and they're gonna fall in love with them. Number 5. If he's not chasing me, he's not interested. And the empowering belief is healthy love grows through mutual effort, not games or power plays. Because most times, slow and steady wins the race, okay? When you expect all this intensity from the beginning, which a lot of us are conditioned to, like I said, you expect all these love bombing, which feels amazing to your ego because somebody's just love bombing you with all this attention. That is not authentic love. That is usually, again, dopamine, adrenaline, testosterone disguised as interest. Number 6. I have to settle if I want companionship. And let's replace that with I would rather wait for alignment than settle for survival love. How many of you get married, spend 6 months, 5 years with somebody that should have been 1 week? Number 7. If I don't sleep with him soon, he's going to lose interest. And let's replace that with if sex is the only thing keeping him, he was never truly interested. Number 8. If he pulls away, I must have done something wrong. Now this one is a little tricky because I do believe that sometimes we do things that push people away, like we devalue ourselves so much that the person kind of just loses attraction. But most times his emotional patterns are not your fault or your responsibility. Number 9, being single is better than being in a relationship. Again, this is my personal view, but many times when I hear people say, I would rather be single than being in a relationship, it's really because they experienced a bad, toxic, unhealthy relationship. Because what I always tell my clients is, I want you to experience a healthy relationship with a man, okay? That he's devoted and committed to you. And then, if you want to choose and going back to being single, now you have a choice. But choosing to be single, okay, out of protection, because you can't find this, is it really a choice, or is it just that you're trying to protect yourself? And final, number 10, I hate dating apps, meeting people online, and everything that has to do with modern dating. I think that modern dating provides a lot of choices for men and women. Now, does it mean that all of these are good choices? Definitely not, but think about that 40 years ago. You ended up marrying, somebody from work or a family friend, your neighbor, and most times that was not a good choice. It was a narcissistic man or abusive, and you were stuck in that relationship for the rest of your life. But now you have a lot more choices, meeting people online, meeting people in person, but it's up to you to learn the skills, okay, to how to discern that noise and find somebody who's aligned with you. All right, ladies, so those are the 10 limiting beliefs that I wanted to discuss today. And what I want you to do next, okay, pay attention well. Stop multitasking right now, because I know that even though I'm giving you all these limiting beliefs, trying to replace them with empowering beliefs, if your experience, the things that you're experiencing with men are not reflecting these empowering beliefs, it's going to be really difficult for you to replace them. So what I suggest you to do, okay, is to go on the pinned comment, okay? There's a link right there with my website. Click on it and scroll down to see all of the stories from women who were exactly in the point that you are today, and that were able to attract love through breaking a lot of these limiting beliefs. This is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Look for evidence of women who were exactly in your shoes and they were able to attract a loyal, devoted man. Anyways, I hope you found this video insightful, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And remember that for your relationships to change, you need to change, okay? Have a beautiful day.